What's up, everybody? How it do? Oh, this is blurry. I don't know. Seem blurry to me. Let me wash it. Let me do a little something to it. Hold on, y'all. Let me clean my thing. Let's see. Seem blurry. Uh, hmm. Okay. I'm trying to see something. New Hampshire. Oh wow. Oh, the records came right up. Let me see something here. Hmm. Mm, mm, mm. This is a really sad case, y'all. A really sad case. I'm trying to see something first. I'm just now knowing about this case today because I was going to do something else with y'all, but then someone messaged me about this. All right, so welcome to Brooklyn Squad, Real Life Drama, Real Life Crimes. What is up, everybody? I hope everybody is having a blessed Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, right? Okay. Yeah, I think so. Having a blessed Wednesday. Please hit that like button if you wish. Thank you. Share this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. While you at it, hit that link right there because that is the link, right? With Novia and her brother. Remember hey Kathy B. Hey beautiful. Remember like it was over the weekend. I had Stephanie on here and I was interviewing her. The case with Novio and AJ, they were brothers and sisters who had been unalive due to pow pow violence. And we talked about, I think that would be a great idea for her to do a group because, you know, I think just it would be a great idea to do a group. Right, for both of them, have a group, for both of them and stuff. Well, the group is there. She did an amazing job. I love how she did the picture and it was surrounded, and so please everybody just hit that link. That is the group that she did. I'm gonna definitely support her with that. She's an amazing person and they need justice. If you know the case, okay, she will be back on here, of course, but if you know, just look back at the interview that we did and some shorts that I also did with her. And go check out my TikTok also because I also have her on there and Facebook. Very, very sad case. Very sad case. Her nephew was unalive at age 13 by a police officer. Okay? And her niece 16 by someone else that no one knows who it is. But I'm gonna say allegedly she was with friends that night. And that's not allegedly that she was with friends that night, but I'm just saying allegedly, like, okay, if you know, you know. We're taping tonight, so I will catch the replay for the second live. Okay, babe. Oh, yeah, that second live, right? Oh, girl. I don't know what's up with me with that. I was like, I'm gonna do two lives today because Barbara really wants me to do that second case. that's I'm doing the second time, she really wants me to do that. So I was like, I'll either do it. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but I was like, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how this right here plays out. Because this is kind of long because the trial is going on right now. Hey, Katie. The trial is going on right now. So I just want to say something, right? And I wish she was in here, but um the other day, right, I had announced that I had to unmod a lot of people. I had to unmod a lot of people because I had a lot of people that in the beginning, right? And I said this the other day, but obviously people's not probably watching my replays or the videos that they didn't catch it. But I'm gonna say it again, right? Because somebody just messaged me and asked me, did I unmod them? Yeah, I did, right? And it's no shade, right? But I need people that's really gonna be supporting my videos. It's cool. I get that people got a life. I don't expect to see people every day. I get people got a life. But once a month, once every other month, and not only that, if you're not, if you're not here, at least I will see you behind the scene. If I'm hitting you up, or something. It's just like it's about supporting. I need to see stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to see people really supporting my videos. And I get that people got a life and I understand that. No shade with that because everybody got a life. I don't want need to see anybody every day. Maybe some people need to see their mods every day, every other day. I don't need to see y'all every day or every other day. I mean, it's cool. I shine up when I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kathy V knows it, like my face just glows when I see y'all, but I get that y'all got a life, right? But I also, right? When you just coming like once a month, once every month, I mean, you know. And not only that, it's some weird stuff that's been going on my life, right? So I just need to rearrange everything because when I first did my mods, it was for something else. It was just for like, okay, you a mod, you a mod, you a mod. I was like happy. I was a new content creator. I didn't know what the hell a mod was. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I really didn't know what the hell a mod was. And a lot of people that I had as a mod, you know, it was just like you, every goddamn body. Girl, you'd be surprised on how many people I had. I was like, what the fuck? So, no shade at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like my videos I have to protect, I run this, I have to protect my content. I really have to protect my content. I have to protect my videos. I have to protect myself. I have to protect the people around me. Uh, a lot of people do that, so we totally get it. Yeah, right? Protect yourself and your peace. Boom, exactly. Protect yourself and your peace. Exactly. And that's what I have to do. Um yeah, and Kathy B, a lot of people do that, so we totally get it. Yeah, when for me, when I first started, I didn't know what the hell a mod was, so I was just getting everybody to be a mod. Why not? What is it? I didn't really know what it was either. And as I'm watching other content creators that I don't know, I'm watching them, I'm starting to learn what a mod is. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's no shade, got mad love for people, it just is what it is. You know, this is This is my life. This is as a business. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, I don't expect to see people every day. But if I see you once a month, I mean, come on. Ooh, sorry. You know, but mad love to people. Mad love to people. And if they feel like they want to unsubscribe, that's cool. Everybody moves on. Everybody moves on. No hatred, no madness, none of that. Everybody moves on. So, with that, this case right here was brought to me earlier, right? Oh, where it go? A father of a 5 years old little girl named Harmony Montgomery, charged with second degree murder in connection with her being unalive. 5 years old little girl. I give right, right. But people got lives and stuff, so I get it. But you just gotta do what you gotta do. You know. Um, this little girl was 5 years old. Y'all know it just touched me when somebody showed me something about kids. Because I had a whole nother two cases I was gonna work on with y'all today. And then somebody messaged me this case and said, girl, you gotta so I was like, oh, okay. And I give shout outs where shout outs is due. You know what I mean? Nancy Strickland gave me this case. Um, so the father has been arrested and charged with second degree murder in connection with her death. This happened in New Hampshire, okay? Adam, that's his name, Montgomery, is 32 years old. He was charged with falsifying physical evidence, abuse of a corpse, tampering with, what is it? What the hell happened here? Tampering with witness or informant, formality announced. The little girl was reported missing in November 2021 by her mother, Crystal, who says she saw her last during FaceTime call in the spring of 2019. Police say Harmony was last seen in October 2019, and investigators include in August that the 5 years old girl had been unalive. Now, I don't need to read that whole thing to tell y'all what I know, because as I was doing the thumbnail today, I was listening to the news and a little bit of this and that to find out what the hell is going on with this case so I could tell y'all before we watch what's going on. The mother had custody of her at first. Okay? The mother had custody of the little girl at first. But because the mother was struggling with drug addiction, the father took over. Okay? And I get that. The mother was going through some things in her life. Okay? She had a drug problem. She was struggling. She couldn't care for the little girl like she wanted to. So Adam, the 32 years old father, said, okay, I'll take her. You know what I mean? And he had custody, he had temporary, custody of her, I guess. Allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly he had temporary custody because I don't know if he had temporary custody or visitation. No, he had temporary custody, exactly. He didn't have visitation. She had the visitation. He had temporary custody of her. And when he got temporary custody of her, he started abusing this little girl physically, real bad. Now, he had got remarried because she's also in jail, okay? The wife, who I believe her name is, if I could do it on top of my head, Kyla, I don't know, but we're going to get into everything. Yeah, we're going to get into everything. If y'all got time today, let's do it. It's a whole thing I could read, but I'd rather show y'all. You know, we like visuals over here, right? So I'm just going to show y'all the video. But they said that he was beating this little girl in her head because she couldn't use the bathroom correctly. So she went missing, right? There was a missing report in December. I believe she went missing, or January, they put out a missing report, but they believe that he unalived her a year prior to that. Okay. Um, the things that happened is disgusting from what I heard when I was doing my not when I was doing my thumbnail, because I was listening to it. Whew. Let's listen to this. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is a copyright disclaimer under here of Section 101 of the Copyright of 1976. Allows us made for fair use for purposes such as criticize, comments, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and researches. Everything I say is allegedly. That poor girl had no support from either parents. They could have at least gave her up for adoption or another family member. Exactly. 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 Oh boy. Under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news report, teaching and scholarships, and reaching. Fair use is a use permanent by copyright status that might override by interferent nonprofit education or personal use tips for the balance of favor or fair use. And I have my disclaimer up. So we'll see what happened today. Let's get into it.
But let's just kind of rewind a bit with what we know on this story. So Harmony Montgomery has been seen in October of 2019, and Crystal Story, the mother of Harmony Montgomery, the biological mother of Harmony Montgomery, uh, did not have custody of Harmony. Reason being, some according to the arrest affidavit that was released yesterday for the arrest affidavit for Adam Montgomery, we had a little bit more insight into what Harmony's childhood has been like, according to the arrest affidavit, who again, that's produced by police after their investigation that leads to a subsequent arrest. So we have all of these interviews that were conducted with various members of the Montgomery family, and it sheds light onto what Harmony's childhood might have been like in some of the darker moments. And it's one of the arrest affidavit is difficult to read because you're thinking about a 5-6-year-old girl experiencing abuse, alleged abuse, at the hands of family members, and it's difficult to read. It's difficult to comprehend that something could happen to someone. I mean, we're talking about a beautiful, sweet little 5-6-year-old, now 7-year-old girl. So let's get into some of the details that we learned. Some of the details that we learned from the arrest affidavit. So yesterday, when we were kind of combing through the documents, we heard of Kevin Montgomery. This is Harmony's great uncle, who lives down here in our area, in the Tampa. I'm here in Tampa, Florida, and we're down here in the Tampa Bay area. And folks, I'm gonna probably do this several times. I want to go back to the court feed just to listen in and make sure we're not missing anything. Let's just listen in for a second here.
Is that possible?
This is the only one that we had for you guys scheduled today.
What is that?
Oh, yes, that's right. This is the only video. Okay. Attorney Ayer, how long will it take you to accomplish this?
15 minutes.
So, okay. So for the jail, we're going to put you on mute. It's going to take us about 15 minutes. We may take up another hearing in between, which may take a little longer. So we're going to ask to put Mr. Farrell on hold until we take up another matter here. Okay. I'll have the clerk.
Just to let y'all know, my first time watching this, guys. So I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know why this guy's on the table like that. So we're watching this together. This is my first time watching this. I was listening to another thing with the little girl, but yeah, I don't know what he's talking. Yeah, so it's interesting. Very sad though, very sad.
Clerk Corcoran, are you able to email the jail as to when we're ready? Okay, so we'll email the jail when we're ready to take up this hearing. We apologize for the delay for you all. Is that okay?
All right.
Is somebody from the public defender's going to come and get this?
And Attorney Ayer, somebody from the public defender's office is going to come and get this right now?
Yes. Yep. And then I just need to review it.
Okay, the other possibility is Attorney Olson could call you and review it with you, but you need to see it.
Someone will come get it. Yeah.
Okay, all right, please let us know because the jail is going to be waiting and holding Mr. Farrell until we can continue this hearing. All right, so please, Attorney Olson, stay in touch with Attorney Ayer and let Clerk Corcoran know when you're ready. Okay, thank you.
You're again watching live from Hillsborough County Superior Court North in New Hampshire, awaiting the arraignments of Adam and Kayla Montgomery.
I gather we're not quite ready in Kayla Montgomery matter. So, oh, I see Attorney Garrity is now here. All right, counsel, I don't see an uploaded proposed bail order. Were you going to do that? Shall we bring Ms. Montgomery up? All right, we'll bring her up. You can set up. Thank you. All right, it does appear that it's in file and serve, so it's going to be retrieved and I'll review it.
Also to let y'all know, they have not found this little girl's body yet. Okay, they have not found her yet, from what I heard. Oops.
the judge likely aware that a lot of attendees are in the WebEx online portal here, gathering virtually for the arraignments of the Montgomerys. So we'll see exactly what the docket and the schedule looks like for arraignments over the next few minutes. It depends, of course, on when they have everything that they need to begin. Stay here with you live on WFLA now.
Correct, right, Katie? Okay.
I have a record office account.
So sad. I wanted to show the arrest. That's what I wanted to see, the arrest and stuff like that, and the interrogation. That's what I thought this was. You know what I'm saying, Katie? I don't know if Kathy B.
The
said here, but
JM in the YouTube live comment section saying hashtag HAB. Is it both of them or just Kayla? As we understand it, we might have the arraignments of both Montgomerys, Adam and Kayla. News Nation's Marky Martin reporting that Adam
should I go back?
Adam Montgomery's arraignment could be occurring here as well. We'll continue to
And look for
listen
that?
in for the judge and hopefully get a little more information on the docket here from Hillsborough County, New Hampshire.
What do you think? What do you think, Maud? That's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted. That's what I thought he was going to do. You sure can, Boppy.
I love you.
I love you too. Yeah.
I'm not sleepy. I'm sleepy, but I'm not sleepy. Hey, you want me to cut down the curtain?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I turn the house heat on, okay?
Okay.
As we await the judge's announcement for who is next here in Hillsborough County, New Hampshire Court, you can see on the top of your screen, we're in this online portal for these virtual arraignments that are occurring. I mean, they're actual arraignments, but we're attending these arraignments virtually. You can see on the top of the screen, like it's very much like a Zoom call, and there's dozens of attendees, and many of them are names. Some of the names that I recognize, I was scrolling through them earlier, some of the names that I recognize as reporters across the country. So dozens of reporters who have logged on here for the arraignments of
I wonder
Kayla
why they
Montgomery
got her
and
7 years
possibly, again,
old when
according
she
to
was
News
5
Nation's
years
Marky
old.
Martin, also Adam Montgomery. Just a quick thing to point out in regards to just how much attention the Harmony Montgomery case has begun to receive since she was reported missing to police this past Friday, despite not being seen since October of 2019. I'll continue to try to interact with you here on YouTube Live. Use hashtag HJB. I'll shout out your comment and try to address your comment, whether it's a comment about the story, a reason that you're following this story, or perhaps you have a question on the story. I'll try to read through them, but I'm going to really be honed in on the audio here from New Hampshire, because as soon as they begin speaking, I'm going to be quiet so we can all listen in here together.
Do you guys want me to go back to the arrest?
Ramblin' Rome in YouTube, on the YouTube comment section, hashtag HJB. Hope they interrogate them now that they're locked up, and today that we find out what happened to Harmony. I think that is the collective hope from the public, is that with Adam
This is the
Montgomery.
matter of State v. Kayla Montgomery, docket 216-2022 CR 39. The council identify yourselves for the record, starting with the state.
Jesse on the oath of the state. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Kayla Roberts for the state.
Paul Garrity for Ms. Montgomery.
Right. Good morning, Ms. Montgomery. So we're going to begin by my asking you, Attorney Garrity, have you reviewed the complaint with Ms. Montgomery? And did you discuss with her the maximum penalties for the charge?
I did.
And does she wish to enter a plea at this time? All right. Ms. Montgomery, you reviewed the complaint with your counsel? And you understand the maximum penalty for this charge? And you wish to enter a plea of not guilty at this time, is that correct? All right. The clerk will enter a plea of not guilty on this charge. What we're going to do now, Ms. Montgomery, is I'm going to take up the issue of bail. I'm going to hear from the state first, and then I'll hear from you and your counsel. You may be seated. Attorney O'Neill?
The state's request is slightly different from what's in the proposed bail order, just because I didn't have the capability to scratch out the corporate charity part. The state's request is a $5,000 cash only bail. That would also have conditions of no contact with Adam Montgomery. If the defendant is released, that she live at a specific address, of which I'm not aware, which is one of the issues I intend to raise, that she not travel outside of New Hampshire, that she not possess a firearm or other weapon delineated there, that she not consume an excessive amount of alcohol or use any narcotic or controlled substance, that she sign a waiver of extradition, and that if she is released, that she check in daily in person at the Manchester Police Department. The basis for this request, Your Honor, is the defendant's status as flight risk, and what the state would argue is clear and convincing evidence that the nature of the allegations presents a substantial risk that the defendant will not appear, and that there's no reasonable alternative that will assure her appearance. A lot of this is grounded in the defendant's criminal record. I'll admit that it's not the most serious record that this court has seen, but it does involve great concern for her ability to comply with court orders. The record begins in November of 2012, when she was convicted in the Grafton Superior Court of Class A misdemeanor dealing in or possessing of prescription drugs. She was at the time sentenced for 12 months, suspended for 2 years. About 9 months later, in August of 2013, about 8 months later, in July of 2013, she was convicted of willful concealment, a Class A misdemeanor, and then what is perhaps most concerning to the state, a false report to law enforcement, a Class A misdemeanor. Those appear to have triggered a violation of her probation on the Grafton Superior case, which resulted in 63 days credit for time served, and an order that basically she successfully completed a 28-day residential treatment program. The final conviction on her record is from September of 2015. It's a Class A misdemeanor theft by misapplication, where there was a deferred sentence that it appears she successfully completed, and the sentence was subsequently completed. The concern for the defendant's inability to comply with court orders, which would contribute directly to her status as a flight risk, comes from that false report to law enforcement, which was made at the time when really the potential consequence was the Class A misdemeanor penalty on that charge of 12 months in the house, and the 1 year suspended for 2 years that she had in the Grafton Superior case. That was therefore a case where basically the consequences were 2 years. Today she's facing what is the most serious charge she's ever faced, a Class A felony, where the potential charge is, the potential maximum penalty is obviously 7.5 to 15 years in state prison.
I want to go back a
If the
little,
defendant
guys, because y'all don't know what's going on here, neither do I.
Suspended sentence,
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. I'm sorry. Hold on. Here we go. This is what I thought it was.
You've got a great idea for an app.
Yes, we do.
And you can't believe that no one else has thought of it yet. You're sure this idea would sell like crazy.
It's an arrest in the death of 5-year-old.
Okay. Hold on.
It's an arrest in the death of 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery. Police have charged that little girl's father with murder. Investigators say that Adam
Let's start
Montgomery
off with this.
beat his daughter in the head repeatedly and then hid her body, which police still have not found.
But the murder charge is a major development in a story that we've been covering now for almost a year. New at 6, WBZ's Christina Hager just spoke to the couple who adopted Harmony's brother and who say the system failed her.
Adam Montgomery was arrested for the murder of Harmony Montgomery in 2019 and other related charges.
Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, was arrested last New Year's Eve, later charged with assault for slapping her when she was alive. Today, this new mugshot facing 4 charges, including second-degree murder.
By repeatedly striking Harmony in the head with a closed fist.
Back in June, police searched the last known address where Harmony lived with her father. Today, they're accusing him of destroying or concealing evidence, abusing Harmony's body, and pressuring his wife, Kayla Montgomery, to allegedly mislead authorities. Harmony's little brother was adopted by a couple now in the Washington, D.C. area. Her brother, named Jameson, started asking questions about her, prompting his new fathers to try to track her down.
No, I look at my son and there's sadness, there's anger. Why did this happen? How did this happen? How did it happen? The system that was supposed to protect my son and his sister failed them. They literally handed his sister over to murderer.
I ask that in memory of Harmony, that we all make every effort to do something nice for a child today. I know of no other way. I know of no other way to respect and honor this innocent and defenseless child.
Police did not say anything about where Harmony ended up. They are still looking to the public for tips, and there's a $150,000 reward for information. In Manchester, New Hampshire, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
All right, Christina, thank you.
He not only hit that girl once, twice, 3 times.
Filing your tax return is different on Free Tax USA.
He multiple beat that girl on her head. I'm going to try to find the paper, the documents of it. But I was like, come on, y'all. You got to be out your damn mind, man. Why you couldn't just have that little girl somewhere else? Now, hold on. Dad charged with daughter's murder. What really happened? Okay, I'm going to show Grizzy has the whole thing. So we're going to do a reaction on her. Let's get into it. Shout out to her. I like her. So we could know before we watch the trial what we're watching.
On 12/27/2021, DCYF notified the Manchester Police Department that they were also unable to locate Harmony. Consequently, the Manchester Police Department initiated an investigation into the whereabouts of Harmony. Over the following days, members of the Manchester Police Department learned that Harmony had not been physically seen since approximately October or November of 2019. Sorry, who resides in Massachusetts, notified authorities that she had not seen Harmony since around Easter of 2019, approximately 04/21/2019. The child had been in the physical and legal custody of her biological father, Adam Montgomery, pursuant to a decision and order from the Lawrence Juvenile Court. Docket number, it's there for you if you want to read that docket number yourself, located in Essex, Massachusetts, dated 02/21/2019. The case was subsequently assigned to me. During my follow-up with Crystal, she explained that she had lost custody of the child in July of 2018 to the state of Massachusetts, in part due to a substance abuse issue. Crystal stated that both she and Adam had past issues with substance abuse. Crystal reported that since then, she's regained sobriety and unsuccessfully made attempts throughout 2021 to locate Adam and Harmony. Adam and his subsequent partner, Kayla Montgomery, had blocked all communication with Crystal through phone numbers and social media applications. Crystal said over the years, she made attempts to locate Harmony by contacting various schools and driving by addresses associated with Adam, but she was unable to make any progress. Crystal said that she believed she last physically saw Harmony during a FaceTime video call with Adam around Easter of 2019. Crystal stated that Adam was visible in the background of the video call. Crystal recalled that Harmony seemed frightened. And if you know anything about this case, you know that Adam, they say, would sometimes, so allegedly, made her stand in the corner for hours, made her scrub the toilet with her own toothbrush, and, you know, really punished her for anything and everything by the sounds of it. Beginning on 12/27 of 2021, members of the Manchester Police Department actively made attempts to track down Adam and to talk to involved family members to establish the last time that Harmony was physically observed and known to be safe. Officers and investigators were initially unable to make contact with Adam via phone. However, investigators were able to make contact with various family members, including parties associated with Adam who reside in Florida. Through these family members, investigators received information that Adam had previously admitted to giving Harmony a black eye in approximately July of 2019. B. First interview with Kayla Montgomery. On 12/28/2021, I spoke with Adam's wife, Kayla Montgomery. Kayla shares 3 younger children with Adam who are all presently accounted for. During my follow-up with Kayla, I asked about the last time that she had physically seen Harmony. Kayla said that sometime in November or December of 2019. She saw Harmony one morning prior to going to work. Adam said that he was driving Harmony back to Crystal, who was living in Massachusetts at the time. Kayla said that she believed Harmony had been returned to Crystal. Kayla claimed she never saw or heard about Harmony after that day, which was a complete lie, by the way, if you didn't know. We'll get to the more of the truth later. I still don't know if it's the whole truth, but more, she actually told more information later. Okay, Kayla had not physically seen Adam since late October of 2021 and had not spoken with him since around mid-November 2021. Kayla claimed that Adam was living in a sober house and had then left the area to live in Maine with another female. C. First contact with Adam Montgomery. On 12/31/2021, patrol officers were able to make contact with Adam and his new girlfriend, Kelsey Small, together sleeping in a vehicle in the area of Harville Street in Manchester. Investigators, including myself, Detective Kozowick, and Detective Riley, responded to that location to speak with the couple. Small claimed that she had been romantically involved with Adam for over a year. Small said that she was aware that Adam has 3 children from one mother and another child from before that. However, Small said that Adam was not in touch with any child from his prior relationship. Small claimed that Adam had never talked about Harmony and she had no information on where she may be. During our interaction with Adam, we stressed our concern that Harmony had not been physically.
Yeah. Because my live says Critz, Watts, and family, and it's supposed to be the Adams Montgomery trial. Okay. Let her keep going. Nothing. I'll fix it.
Observed in over 2 years, and that we had concern for whether or not she was still alive. Adam did not exhibit much emotion or reaction to this. D. Further interview with Kayla Montgomery. Also, on 12/31/2021, Kayla Montgomery participated in a voluntary interview with Detective Riley and myself. During this interview, she spoke about the last time that she saw Harmony. In this interview, she told us that 2 days after Thanksgiving 2019, which would have been 11/30/2019, Adam had taken her to work, which she said was a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift at Dunkin' Donuts on Eddy Road in Manchester. She said that while Adam was dropping her off, He said that he was bringing Harmony to her, Harmony's mom, and he was going to meet her, Harmony's mom, and bring Harmony to stay with her. Kayla said that later that day, Adam picked her up and he no longer had Harmony. He said that he had just dropped Harmony off. Kayla said that she assumed Adam dropped Harmony off in Massachusetts, as that is where Crystal was living at the time. Detectives were concerned about Kayla's account that Adam claimed that he was bringing Harmony to Crystal, especially because Crystal outright denied ever taking custody of Harmony from Adam at that time or ever seeing Harmony following the video chat in April of 2019. The investigation revealed that in November of 2019, Crystal lived at 39 Chapel Street, number 3 in Lowell, Massachusetts with her boyfriend, Joseph Eckhart. On 12/31/2021, Joseph was interviewed and he confirmed that he was living with Crystal in 2019 and Harmony was not with Crystal at all from October 2019 to present. In fact, Joseph stated that he's never met Harmony in person. A review of DCYF involvements indicated social workers had not viewed Harmony since the 1st of October of 2019.
That's horrible.
During a home visit with Adam Montgomery in New Hampshire. Not only have family members not seen Harmony since 2019, DCYF contacted the Manchester School District on 9/10/2021. A representative from the school district stated that Harmony was not registered in the district.
Okay. Reaction video in trial today. So you mean to tell me that this little girl was not seen for a whole year? And nobody made it a big deal? Even if she wasn't seen for a few months, nobody made this a big issue? Come on now. That's crazy. That's crazy. Supposed to be seen at least a few every other day, at least. Come on now.
Family court order regarding locating and protective
Oh, no.
supervision of Harmony Montgomery. On 12/31/2021, the 9th Circuit Family Division, Manchester, granted protective supervision of Harmony to DCYF from Adam via a juvenile abuse neglect ex parte order. At the time of the order, Adam had been Harmony's sole custodian. The order stated specifically that Adam was ordered to cooperate with the Manchester Police Department and assist with locating Harmony. Detective Riley served Adam with that order on the afternoon of 12/31/2021 at approximately 16:10 hours. However, Adam refused to provide any information on the whereabouts of Harmony. When handed the order by detectives and told that he had to provide information on Harmony's whereabouts, Adam said, "Either arrest me or I'm leaving," and refused to answer additional questions. Adam was arrested on charges related to Harmony on 1/04/2022 and was formally charged and arraigned on 1/05/2022. These charges consist of second-degree assault for an incident in July of 2019, interference with custody. I know it says inference, but I think they said interference with custody. I might be wrong. And 2 charges of endangering the welfare of a child. He has been detained at the Hillsborough County House of Corrections since that date. F. Kayla Montgomery's grand jury testimony. On 05/20/2022, Kayla Montgomery testified before the grand jury for Hillsborough County Northern District as part of the grand jury's investigation into the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery. Kayla was under oath for her testimony. During her testimony, Kayla was asked about the last time that she saw Harmony. She stated in sum that it was 2 days after Thanksgiving 2019, which would have been 11/30/2019, when Adam dropped her off to work her 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift at Dunkin' Donuts in Goffstown. Harmony was in the car, and Adam said he was bringing Harmony to her, Harmony's mother. When Adam picked Kayla up a little after 2 p.m., Harmony was no longer with Adam, and Adam said he brought Harmony to her, Harmony's mom. At this time, Kayla said that she never saw Harmony after that, and she didn't know what happened to Harmony. Another huge lie. Investigators researched Kayla's claim about the location and shift that she was working 2 days after Thanksgiving of 2019, which was 11/30/2019. All Dunkin' Donuts locations in Goffstown confirmed that Kayla was not working there on 11/30/2019.
Remember in the beginning, I said that he had gotten remarried, I believe, and the girl's name was Kayla, something like that. I was right. It was Kayla. Yep.
Records
in jail
obtained from New Hampshire Employment Security showed that the only employer who paid Kayla in November of 2019 was a Dunkin' Donuts in Hooksett, New Hampshire, and the Dunkin' Donuts store confirmed that Kayla was fired from that location on 11/23/2019. As a result, an arrest warrant was obtained for Kayla for 2 charges of perjury. Kayla was arrested on the perjury charges on 06/03/2022. On that same day, Kayla participated in a proffer interview at Manchester Police Department. Her attorney was present for the interview. G. Kayla Montgomery's first proffer interview. During the proffer interview, Kayla admitted that she had lied during her grand jury testimony. She stated that she had information related to Harmony Montgomery. Kayla stated that the family, herself, Adam, Harmony, and the 2 younger boys, was evicted from where they were living on Guildford Street in Manchester the day before Thanksgiving of 2019, which would have been 11/27/2019. Kayla said that after that, they were living in their vehicle, which was known to be a Chrysler Sebring. During their time living out of the vehicle, they stayed in the parking lot of Colonial Village on River Road in Manchester, where their friend Anthony Badiro lived. Now, if you want to see the map time on all of these locations, check out that trial prep episode that we just recently did, which is linked in the description box for you because we went over that, okay? It's also timestamped for you. Kayla stated that from Thanksgiving up until the beginning of December, Badiro saw Harmony and the other 2 boys and would wave at them. She also said that Badiro brought them Thanksgiving leftovers while they were in the Sebring, and that he saw Harmony at the time and he and Harmony waved at each other. Kayla stated that on the day the Chrysler Sebring broke down, known to be 12/07/2019, as discussed in further detail below, Adam Montgomery struck Harmony, which caused her death. Kayla stated that while living in the vehicle together, Adam was extremely upset that 5-year-old Harmony was not saying when she needed to go to the bathroom and was having accidents in the car. Kayla stated that after each accident, Adam would get upset and would strike Harmony in the face or head with a closed fist, which is horrifying to think about. Because not like there's a bathroom there, they're living in a car.
Right.
And Harmony, she knew how abusive Adam was. That's all she seemed to experience from him.
She was afraid of him.
So that would be a trauma response as well. The terror she must have felt. How would she even be able to verbalize it, that she needed to go? Because no matter what she said or did, it sounds like she got punished for it.
Right, exactly.
Kayla stated that on 12/07/2019, and if you're only watching the premiere now or you've just skipped forward here, trigger warning, okay? This is involving a 5-year-old girl who was allegedly murdered by her dad.
Okay.
Kayla stated that on 12/07/2019, prior to the vehicle breaking down, Adam struck Harmony in the face or head on 3 separate occasions because she had a bathroom accident.
Jesus.
This happened while Adam was driving the vehicle. Okay. Kayla described that Harmony was in the rear seat on the passenger side, and while Adam was driving, he turned his body and delivered sets of 3 to 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face or head on 3 separate occasions over the course of a few minutes. Kayla stated that after the final blow, Adam said words to the effect of that he felt something or heard something when he hit Harmony. And I think I really hurt her this time. I think I did something.
Wow.
Say again, how sad is it that he said, I think I really hurt her this time.
This time.
That statement in itself, even though it's just something that Kayla is now relaying, we don't have an actual recording of that or something, but that is so sad. It's, it would be if we had a recording of it, evidence of a long history of abuse.
Right.
Harmony began making a moaning type noise, which went on for roughly 5 minutes and then stopped. At no time did anyone stop or get Harmony medical attention as the result of this assault. Kayla said this happened in the morning while the family was on their way to the Burger King on Route 3 in Manchester, and afterwards the family returned to the parking lot of the Colonial Village apartments.
So his wife was sitting right there when that baby took her last breath. That's what it sounded like, she was taking her last breath. And even before that, he was abusing her and she was doing nothing? You's a monster too. What the hell? Come on now. It's crazy. Oops, sorry.
The family stayed at Colonial Village for approximately 20 minutes, during which time no one checked on Harmony. Kayla could not recall exactly what they did during this 20-minute time period. Kayla said that after approximately 20 minutes, the family left the Colonial Village apartments, and shortly thereafter,
Yep.
their car broke down.
Exactly.
Kayla said that she thought the car died at probably 8 or 9 a.m.
She's a monster too.
What a choice of words, Car broke down, yes. Harmony died, According to Manchester Police Department records, the car was broken down in the intersection of Elm Street and Webster Street at approximately 12:11 p.m. on 12/07/2019. Kayla said it was at that time that she and Adam discovered that Harmony was not breathing and was deceased. Kayla stated that Adam went to the trunk of the vehicle, removed clothing from a black and red Under Armour duffel bag, and placed the lifeless body of Harmony into the bag. Kayla stated that at no point did either of them have any conversation about getting any type of life-saving measures for Harmony, and that Adam simply put Harmony's dead body into the bag and walked it back to the parking lot of the Colonial Village apartments. Kayla indicated that once back at Colonial Village, Badiro drove them from the apartment complex back to their vehicle to collect their belongings before the vehicle was towed. Kayla said that Badiro then allowed them to stay in his Audi parked in the parking lot for 2 or 3 days over the weekend. Kayla stated that while they were staying in Badiro's Audi, after Harmony's death, Adam was keeping the bag with Harmony's body inside of the trunk of the vehicle, but also would leave it out on the snow to stop the decomposition of the body from happening.
Y'all hear that
H.
shit?
Anthony Badiro's
Lord have mercy.
grand jury testimony. On 03/21/2022, Anthony Badiro testified before the grand jury for Hillsborough County Northern District as part of the grand jury's investigation into the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery. During his testimony, Badiro stated that after the Montgomery family was evicted, he allowed them to stay in his car and Audi for 2 days. He said he believed it was the weekend immediately after Thanksgiving, which would have been approximately 11:30 and 12/01/2019, and he testified that he brought Thanksgiving leftovers to the car for them to eat. Badiro testified that he did not see Harmony in the Audi. There was only Adam, Kayla, and the 2 younger boys, SM and DM. Badiro testified that he never bothered to ask where Harmony was. Badiro testified that the only 2 times he ever saw Harmony were back in August and September of 2019. Badiro testified that when the Montgomerys left the Audi after the 2 days that they stayed there, that he believed Kayla said that she was going to her mother's. In his grand jury testimony, Badiro testified that he only let the Montgomerys family stay in his Audi for 2 days, but he was not aware of whether the Montgomery family was possibly living in a different car in the parking lot to his apartment building for additional days. Badiro said that they could have stayed in their own car, the Chrysler Sebring, before it got messed up. Badiro explained that he was aware that after the Montgomerys got evicted, they had a gray Chrysler, but that they didn't have the car anymore when they arrived to stay in his Audi. He said that when they arrived to stay in the Audi, they were dropped off by some friend of theirs who was a girl, and that they didn't have anything other than the 2 boys and formula for the baby and diapers. Badiro said that they didn't have anything else, not even bags of clothes. Donna Demir's grand jury testimony. On 05/2022, Badiro's girlfriend, Donna Demers, also testified before the grand jury for Hillsborough County Northern District. She testified that the only time she saw Harmony was September 2019 together with Badiro. She testified about the Thanksgiving leftovers being fresh, and she believed Badiro gave them to the Montgomerys either on Thanksgiving Day 2019 or the next day. She testified that she had a brief opportunity to look inside the car that the Montgomerys were in, which she said was Badiro's car, the Audi, and that she only saw 2 younger children in the car, not Harmony. Demers was confident that Harmony was not in the car. Now, you might be confused at this point of why are they saying Thanksgiving and Kayla was saying Thanksgiving, but then later Kayla said December 7th.
Right.
We're going to get to that, okay? Because the details get refined. Because remember, they asked these people these questions 2 years later, right? So, yeah, the memory was a little fuzzy, and it starts getting a little bit clearer as we go on. J. Anthony Baduro's proffer interview. On 9/22,
I think it's
2022,
worse
a
than that,
proffer
though.
interview was conducted with Anthony
Katie.
Baduro. Also present was Senior Assistant Attorney General Jesse O'Neill, Detective Max Rahil, Deputy Tufts of the U.S. Marshals, Baduro's attorney, Ashley Sheehan, and myself. Baduro indicated that he had met Adam Montgomery through Kayla in 2019. He admitted he did provide, can't say those words, things, substances, to the Montgomerys. Baduro stated he would buy the Montgomerys food stamps off of them prior to them staying in his vehicle and after they stayed in his vehicle. Baduro stated that after Thanksgiving of 2019, the Montgomerys came to him with just their 2 boys and no Harmony and asked if they could stay with them due to them being evicted and their car breaking down. Baduro did not recall how the Montgomerys arrived at his home. Baduro stated they arrived with few belongings and recalled a trash bag. Baduro offered them his Audi to sleep, which was parked in the rear of his Colonial Village apartment building located at 21 West River Drive in Manchester, New Hampshire. Baduro was unclear on the timing, at first saying it was the weekend after Thanksgiving, 11:30 to 12:01, but then, when confronted with information that the Montgomerys still had their own car at that point, agreed that it may have been the following weekend, 12:07 to 12:08. He said that he provided them Thanksgiving leftovers, which would have been older leftovers if it was the following weekend, and a pizza. Baduro repeatedly denied seeing Harmony and stated that he only knew that the family had been staying in the parking lot for 2 nights in his Audi. When confronted with a statement Kayla made about him seeing Harmony every day from Thanksgiving to the beginning of December
Which isn't
and
true.
waving to Harmony and the 2 boys in the car, Baduro stated she was lying. I questioned Baduro about helping the Montgomerys retrieve belongings from their car when it broke down at Webster Street and Elm Street, and he stated he did not remember that happening. K. Donna Demir's proffer interview. After Baduro's interview concluded, a proffer interview was conducted with his girlfriend, Donna Demirs, and her attorney, Dan Duckett, present. Demirs stated that she only stated.
So he didn't say that they didn't see that baby at all. That baby was unalived a year before. No holidays, no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, no Easter, no nothing. This is horrible, y'all. I want to see the interrogation. But let's continue. The fucking monster.
Baduro's part-time, and that she primarily resided with her parents in Derry, New Hampshire. Demirs recalled the Montgomerys arriving at Baduro's apartment and that they appeared stressed and mostly concerned with getting substances. Demirs recalled them carrying duffel bags and trash bags, and when asked if there was any color to the duffel bag, she stated she believed there was, but could not really recall any details. Demirs was not aware if Baduro had helped the family retrieve any of their belongings from their vehicle, which had broken down. Demirs remembered Adam, Kayla, and their 2 boys arriving, but was adamant she never saw Harmony. Demirs recalled bringing fresh Thanksgiving leftovers, possibly the day after Thanksgiving, to the Montgomerys when they were living out of the car. She initially recalled that the Montgomerys were living out of the Audi at the time, but when confronted with information that the Montgomerys still had their own car that weekend, 11:30 to 12:01, Demirs admitted that she may not be remembering the car correctly. Demirs stated that when she brought the Thanksgiving leftovers, there were 2 kids jumping around in the back seat, and she did not see Harmony in the car. At the time, SM was approximately 2.5 years old, and DM was approximately 10 months old. It is extremely unlikely that a 10-month-old would be jumping around, and therefore investigators believe that Demirs may have seen Harmony without realizing it was her. L. Facebook and Google search warrants. You know, we like to see the Google searches, right? Imagine what we'll learn at the trial. Okay, so they say during the investigation, search warrants were obtained for Facebook and Google records relevant to the time period of late November or early December of 2019. Location data from Google was consistent with the Montgomerys staying in the Colonial Village parking lot from approximately 11/27/2019 through 12/08/2019, which corroborates Kayla's account of the time period that they stayed there. In addition, another witness interviewed during the investigation, Kimberly Frayne, recalled personally interacting with the Montgomerys while they were staying in the Audi in the Colonial Village parking lot during the overnight hours of 12/07 into 12/08 of 2019. Frayne went to help the Montgomerys because the Audi had died and Kayla was worried the family was in danger from the cold. Frayne said that she did not see Harmony at that time and it was only Adam, Kayla, and the two boys. Facebook messages exchanged between Matt Gendron and Kayla Montgomery also confirmed this date and time frame, showing Kayla reaching out to Gendron about the Audi having died and being concerned about the cold. December 7 to 8 of 2019 would have been the weekend following the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Do y'all know who this young lady is? Grizzy? She's the I be watching her sometimes. She goes out there and she finds cases and she actually like, like a news reporter type thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, she actually be out there and stuff. It's pretty cool. I should check her out. And she's on Facebook too. Yeah, I know I say names wrong though, but
in other words,
to her.
1 week after the weekend that Badura testified that he believed the Montgomerys stayed in his Audi. This corroborates Kayla's time frame of when they stayed in Badura's Audi. M. Interviews of Courtney O'Brien and Matt Garcia. On 1/05 of 2022, investigators spoke with Courtney O'Brien, who said her husband,
Walk
Matt
out the
Garcia, had
yeah,
known Adam their
I like
entire
her.
life. She also said that Adam used to work for her. She related how she and Garcia had seen Adam, Kayla, Harmony, and the two boys Thanksgiving night 2019, and that the family was living out of their Sebring at the time. O'Brien also recalled a conversation that she had with Adam sometime between approximately December
I've
2019
been watching
and
her for a
January
little
of
bit.
2020, during which Adam said that Harmony was with her mom, with Harmony's mom, Crystal, right? That it happened really fast,
I love her
and
accent.
Harmony wouldn't stop peeing her pants, and she was better off with her mom.
Oh,
On
Lord.
01/05/2022, investigators also spoke with Matt Garcia separately from Courtney O'Brien. Garcia explained that he and Adam met when Garcia, was 14 years old. He considered Adam to be a friend. Garcia said that the only time he saw Harmony was on Thanksgiving of 2019 when Adam, Kayla, and the kids were living in a car. Garcia told investigators about a phone call that he had with Adam on 12/31 of 2021, which was after news broke that Harmony was missing. Garcia said he asked Adam about the news regarding Harmony and that Adam said he had talked to police that morning. Adam told Garcia he didn't know why the police were bothering him and that he gave Harmony back to her mother after Garcia had seen her on Thanksgiving. Garcia said that Adam, said, he goes, the kid, Harmony, wouldn't stop pissing and shitting everywhere. She was driving me nuts. We were living in the car, so I had her mom come and get her. If only that were true, right? Garcia elaborated, speaking as if he was Adam, that Harmony was having her accidents everywhere, all the time, every 5 minutes. We were living in a car. I couldn't take it. I had to give her to her mom. The information from O'Brien and Garcia is consistent with Kayla's information that Adam would get upset with Harmony over the bathroom accidents and eventually killed her due to her having a bathroom accident in the car. Remember, she was only 5 years old and very traumatized. Finding Harmony Montgomery's DNA in the Chrysler Sebring. Investigators located the Chrysler Sebring that the Montgomery family lived in after being evicted from 77 Guilford Street and in which Harmony was killed. This vehicle was the subject of a call for service at approximately 12:11 p.m. on 12/07/2019 at the intersection of Webster Street and Elm Street in Manchester.
Yeah.
This is consistent with Kayla's statement in her 06/03/2022 proffer interview that Adam killed Harmony on the day that their Sebring broke down. Tow documents show The tow company was on scene to tow the Sebring from approximately 12:52 to 1:39 p.m. The Sebring was thereafter treated as an abandoned vehicle, and an abandoned vehicle tracking report created by Auto City Collision Repair Center for the Sebring noted that later, on 12/16/2019, there was no power to the dash, and an attempt to jumpstart the Sebring resulted in the car immediately starting to smoke. The Sebring was eventually sold to Hebert's Used Auto Parts in Goffstown, New Hampshire, on or about 1/29/2020, where it was located by Manchester detectives on approximately 1/01/2022. The manager of Hebert's Used, I want to say Herbert's, but it looks like Hebert's. Okay, Hebert's Used Auto Parts consented to the seizure and search of the Sebring by Manchester detectives. When the Sebring was searched, inside of the vehicle, investigators located a pink Trolls electric toothbrush, which was assigned property number JMT7. This toothbrush was submitted to the New Hampshire State Police Forensic Lab, the state lab, for potential DNA analysis. A buccal swab was taken from Crystal Sorry by consent and was also submitted to the state lab for comparison purposes. Upon completion of the analysis, Katie L. Swango, that's a cool name, right? Katie L. Swango, PhD,
Oops.
and criminalist 2.
What you said, Katie? She probably was having accidents more than normal due to the fear of what was going on and happening next. Yeah, and because he kept beating her every damn chance. You know what I mean? Shiz. Lord have mercy. That little girl was fearful of him. Why didn't he just give her to an aunt, an uncle? He had an uncle, he had a brother. The mother, I mean, it sounded like she got her life back together, allegedly. But why you didn't give her, what happened to the grandmother? Why you didn't give her this? I don't understand why people do that. If you can't take care of your fucking child, give them to somebody that can. Stop unaliving them. For what? What do y'all keep unaliving these babies for? What are y'all getting out of it besides prison time? Shit don't make no sense, man. Shit pisses me off.
At the state lab issued a report dated January 19th, 2022, where she wrote, "The DNA obtained from the toothbrush JMT7 is from a biological female. The DNA profile obtained from the toothbrush cannot be excluded as that from a biological child of Crystal Sorry based on a comparison of these DNA profiles only. It is at least 108 billion times more likely to see these genetic results if the DNA profile obtained from the toothbrush is from a biological child of Crystal Sorry than an untested, unrelated, random woman. It should be noted that Harmony is the only female child of Crystal Sorry. Based on these lab results, there is strong reason to believe that the DNA profile obtained from the toothbrush JMT7 is that of Harmony Montgomery, and it will be referred to as such herein." Oh, movements of Harmony Montgomery's body by Adam Montgomery. Another trigger warning, because after she died, he held onto her body for quite a few months. I think it was about 4 months, and that's very scary to think about. And not easy to read any of this, but as I say, we're not going to read anything graphic.
You all have a
Harmony's
good
body
one.
moved from Kayla's mother's residence
All right,
on
baby. Have a
Dubuque
blessed day,
Street.
mama.
In her
Much love.
06/03/2022 proffer, Kayla explained how Harmony's body was moved to various locations over the course of the next several months. She stated that after living in Badira's Audi in the Colonial Village parking lot, that they then moved in with her mother, Christina Lubin, and her mother's boyfriend, John Gallion, at 258 Dubuque Street, Manchester, New Hampshire. Kayla said that when they arrived at the residence, Harmony's body, which was still in a duffel bag, was placed inside of a red cooler with a white top in the common hallway of an apartment building. She stated the body was left there the whole time the family stayed there until the end of December of 2019. On February 18th of 2022, Levin testified before the grand jury for Hillsborough County Northern District, and during her testimony, she explained that in December of 2019, Adam, Kayla, SM, and DM moved in to live with her for 2 or 3 weeks, and they left on December 30th or 31st. Levin stated that they did not have Harmony with them, and Kayla told her that Harmony had gone back to live with her, Harmony's mother, at a rehab facility in Massachusetts. Levin testified that during that time frame of December 2019, she was not aware of Adam or Kayla making any effort to get in touch with Harmony or Surrey. She also testified that in that time frame, she did not see Adam or Kayla cry about not having Harmony. After Kayla's proffer interview, I traveled to that address at Dubuque Street and obtained a consent to search from Levin and Gallion. I explained to Levin that I needed to obtain a red cooler with a white lid. Levin stated that the cooler had been in her bedroom closet for 2 years. I asked her if this cooler had previously been in the common hallway, and she confirmed that it was. Levin and Gallion consented to the search and seizure of the cooler, pictured below. The cooler was submitted to the state lab for processing. According to reports received from the state lab, the results of a screening test performed on samples from the cooler were negative for the presence of blood. In addition, no suitable areas of friction ridge detail were developed on the cooler. So here's a picture of that cooler that they tested. B. Harmony's body moved to Families in Transition Shelter on Lake Avenue. Law enforcement previously knew, and Kayla confirmed in her 06/03/2022 proffer interview, that after leaving her mother's house, the family, Adam, Kayla, and the 2 boys, moved into a Families in Transition Shelter at 177 Lake Avenue, number 1, Manchester, New Hampshire. This was approximately 12/30/2019. In her proffer interview, Kayla said that the Under Armour bag with Harmony's body was brought to the fit shelter as well. Kayla said that Adam placed it in the ceiling vent in the bedroom.
This is insane, y'all. I'm just listening and I'm like, wait a minute. You can't be for real. You would have thought, even if it would have started smelling at some point, right? Exactly. But my also thing is, Katie, why ain't nobody looking for this baby? All these years go, months go by. What happened? She's not in school. And I get the mother had her addiction, but what happened to the other family members? So now we come to a point where now they're looking for her body. It's crazy, man. Damn.
Kayla stated that during this time there was liquid coming from the bag containing Harmony's dead body, and there was an odor. She said Adam placed a trash bag around the bag to keep it from leaking. Search of the FIT or fit shelter on Lake Avenue. On 06/04/2022, detectives conducted a search of 177 Lake Avenue, number 1. During the search of the apartment, detectives located a ceiling vent in the bedroom pictured here. So, yeah, they're literally showing us pictures of it right here, as you can see. Okay, so then detectives removed the vent in order to check the top side of the ceiling sheetrock. There, next to the opening for the ceiling vent, detectives located a large area of staining. This area is directly next to the ceiling vent where Kayla Montgomery described that Adam Montgomery put Harmony's deceased body in the Under Armour bag. Detectives noted that this area had a smell consistent with decomposition. The photo below was taken by a detective who was standing up in the ceiling vent hole after the vent was removed. The area of staining is circled.
They smelled that smell.
A large section of the ceiling sheetrock was removed and seized, which included the stain, metal framing, and the hole for the ceiling vent. The ceiling vent itself was also seized. The photo below shows the area of sheetrock and metal framing that was seized. The area of staining is again circled. Forensic testing of the ceiling section from the fit shelter on Lake Avenue. The ceiling sheetrock with a metal framing attached together with a vent were submitted to the state lab for serology, DNA, and latent friction ridge fingerprint processing. In a report dated 06/10/2022, Martin S. Orlowitz, criminalist 1 at the state lab, wrote that 13 areas of friction ridge detail were developed, 6 on the metal framing attached to the sheetrock, and 7 on the metal vent itself. In a report dated 07/06/2022, criminalist Orlowitz noted that not all areas of friction ridge detail were sufficient to be identifiable, and some of the areas contained multiple impressions. In all, criminalist Orlowitz noted and analyzed 10 identifiable impressions, 9 from the metal vent and 1 from the metal framing.
Damn, thank you. I said, hey, boo. One of my one day is from the beginning. I was saying that now we know that um we know that from the beginning, we know from the beginning what happened. We know that she was abused. We know that he been unalived this little girl a year prior. We know that she was with her mother first. Her mother had an addiction problem with drugs, so the father took over, but he was abusing this little girl, beating her in the head because she couldn't go to the bathroom correctly. She was only 5 years old. What the hell do he expect? We know that he got remarried. The other wife allowed the abuse to go on. Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Dave is so loud. But can y'all hear me? Oh, yeah, okay. So now let's go look at the trial. Because we're not gonna sit here and listen to we already know I just want to give y'all a backstory of why we looking at the trial. Okay? So let's go look at the trial now. Because the trial started today.
Attorney Smith, Attorney Brooks, ready? All right, we'll bring the jurors in now. Bring them in. Please rise for the jury.
Because I just wanted to show y'all the beginning because I didn't know what happened either. I'm new to this. I just found out about this story today. So for me just to show y'all the trial and don't know what's going on, that's crazy. So we got the backstory. Now let's go into the trial. We got an hour to do that before I go into my next live. And then we'll continue at another time. I messed the thing up because okay, so Michelle, this case is I don't know if Michelle is still here, but this case is supposed to be the Adam Montgomery case, not the Chris Watts case.
All right, I'll ask the jurors to please remain standing. Everyone else, you may be seated.
I messed it up. I don't know how I did that. I did
Members
that
of the jury,
before
I'm going to
too.
swear you in now. So if you could please raise your right hands, and at the conclusion of the oath, if you would please say, "I will."
It's okay.
You so solemnly
I'm
swear
gonna
or
make my other
affirm that you will
life at
carefully
8:15
consider
so
the
I can
evidence
fix
and the
it.
law presented to you in this case, and that you will deliver a fair and true verdict as to the charges or charges against the defendant, so help you God. Thank you, members of the jury. You can be seated. I'm going to now read the charges to you in this matter. There's 5 charges. The first is charge ID 1937947C. This states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester, New Hampshire, of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire, between approximately July 1st and July 22nd, 2019, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of second-degree assault, in that Adam Montgomery did knowingly cause bodily injury to HM, date of birth 6/7/2014, a child under the age of 13 by striking her in the face. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. The next charge in this matter is charge ID 2027112C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire on or about December 7th, 2019, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of second-degree murder, in that Adam Montgomery did recklessly cause the death of Harmony Montgomery, date of birth 6/7/2014, a person under 13 years of age, under circumstances manifesting an extreme indifference to the value of human life, by repeatedly striking Harmony Montgomery on the head with a closed fist. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. The next charge is charge ID 2027113C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire between approximately December 7th, 2019 and March 4th, 2020, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of falsifying physical evidence, in that Adam Montgomery, believing that an official proceeding, as defined in RSA 641:1, Roman numeral 2, or an investigation was pending or about to be instituted, did purposely alter, destroy, conceal, or remove the body of Harmony Montgomery with a purpose to impair its verity or availability in such proceeding or investigation. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. The next charge in this matter is charge ID 2027114C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester, New Hampshire, at Manchester, between December 7th, 2019 and March 4th, 2020, did commit the offense of abuse of a corpse, in that the defendant did purposely and unlawfully removed, concealed, or destroyed the corpse of Harmony Montgomery or any part thereof. And this is against the peace and dignity of the state. And then the last charge is charge ID 2027115C, and this states that Adam Montgomery of Manchester in the state of New Hampshire between approximately December 7th, 2019 and January 4th, 2022, at Manchester in the county of Hillsborough aforesaid, did commit the crime of tampering with witnesses and informants, in that Adam Montgomery, believing that an official proceeding as defined in RSA 641:1, Roman numeral 2, or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, did purposely attempt to induce or otherwise cause Kayla Montgomery to testify or inform falsely. Said acts being contrary to the form of the statute in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant, Adam Montgomery, has been arraigned on these charges and he has pleaded not guilty. And of this, he puts himself upon his country for trial, which country you are. Assistant Attorneys General Benjamin Agati and Christopher Knowles for the state have joined the issue, and you are to say by your verdict if the defendant, Adam Montgomery, is guilty of the crimes wherever he stands indicted or not guilty. Hearken to the evidence. Thank you.
Members of the jury, shortly you will hear opening statements by counsel. Before that, I'm going to give you some general instructions as to the law that applies to this case and some other matters, which will give you some guidance as you consider the evidence in this case. After you have heard the evidence and you have heard closing arguments, you will hear further instructions from the court, and then you will retire to the jury deliberation room to decide your verdict. You should consider all of the instructions I give you, both now and at the end of the case as a whole, and not single out one particular instruction as stating the law. You will also have written copies of my instructions with you in the jury deliberation room. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a memory test. What I ask of you now is just listen carefully to the instructions that I give to you. You will have as many copies as you like in the deliberation room when it comes to decide your verdict. So you will have written copies of both the instructions that I give you now, as well as the ones that I give you at the end of the case as a whole. And every juror can have one available to them. So please just listen carefully now as I give you these instructions. The function of the court and the jury. In order to reach a fair and just verdict, you must understand and follow the law as I explain it to you. For example, you have to understand the definitions of the crimes with which the defendant is charged. You have to understand how convinced one way or the other you should be before deciding your verdict. You have to understand what to consider in deciding whether to believe a particular witness. These instructions will explain the law as to these and other matters so that you can reach a fair and just verdict. It is your duty as jurors to follow all of the instructions I'm about to give you. Regardless of any opinion you may have as to what the law ought to be, the law as I explain it to you is the law you must follow in reaching your verdict. It is up to
So, Michelle, I know you got to press the replay, but I'll tell you a little bit. This little girl father had custody of her because her mother was an addict and couldn't take care of her. So she was struggling with addiction and stuff like that. So she couldn't take care of her daughter. So the father came in and took custody of her. As he took custody of her, he remarried to someone else. But he couldn't handle this little girl. He started beating her, like constantly beating her. She has like in the head. She couldn't use the bathroom right. He was beating her. They had another child. They became homeless, living in a car. Yeah, so this case is heartbroken. He unalived this little girl a year ago. Nobody was looking for her until a year later, where people realized she wasn't in school. So now the trial is going on. So I'm new to this case. I just got it today. So I wanted to share it with y'all. So this is the trial going on today.
to you to
gotta
decide the
press
facts.
replay
You
later.
must decide the
Tell you
facts
some
solely
more.
from the evidence in this trial.
Actually,
you must apply the
I
law
put it
given
at the
to you in
wrong
these instructions to the facts,
channel.
and in this way reach a fair and just verdict. You should decide the
I'm
facts
fixing it
without
now.
prejudice, without fear, and without sympathy. You should
No, I
decide
put it
this
in the wrong
case
channel.
based solely on the evidence presented and the law as I explain it to you. The evidence in the case. In deciding this case, you should consider only the evidence in the case. The evidence consists of testimony under
I'm
oath of
fixing
the
it now. I'm
witnesses,
sorry, y'all.
exhibits which have been admitted into evidence, facts of which I take judicial notice, and stipulations of certain facts. During the trial, the lawyers may make objections. The lawyers are supposed to object when they believe that certain evidence is not admissible. If I sustain an objection or exclude any evidence, you must not guess as to what the answer or evidence would have been. If I order that a question and answer be stricken from the record, you must not consider either the question or the answer as evidence. A judge is required to be neutral, and I am in fact neutral. If during this trial or at any point during these proceedings you believe that I have expressed or suggested an opinion as to the facts in my rulings, you should ignore that belief. It is up to you alone to decide the facts. In short, you should consider only the legally admissible evidence in deciding this case, that is, the testimony of the witnesses, the exhibits, stipulations, and facts of which I took judicial notice. We talked earlier that there will be a view in this case, and I'll give you an instruction on the view later, but the view is also evidence in the case, but you'll hear an instruction on that in a little bit. The indictments are not evidence. The fact that the defendant has been arrested and indicted is not evidence of guilt. The indictments are simply a way of giving the defendant notice of the charges. The indictments are a formal way of accusing the defendant of a crime in order to bring the defendant to trial. You must not consider the indictments as evidence of guilt. Multiple indictments, one defendant. Each of the indictments against the defendant constitutes a separate offense. You must consider each indictment separately and determine whether the state has proven the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The fact that you may find the defendant guilty or not guilty on one of the indictments should not influence your verdict with respect to the other indictments. The possible punishment the defendant may receive if you return a guilty verdict should not influence your decision. The duty of imposing sentence is solely for the judge. You should base your verdict only on the evidence and the law without considering the possible punishment. The presumption of innocence. As you were instructed during the general selection process, there is a presumption of innocence that applies and continues throughout this trial until the state convinces you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of each and every element of the offenses with which he has been charged. And the defendant has no obligation whatsoever to prove his innocence in this matter. And that includes the right not to testify if he so chooses. You are not allowed to draw any unfavorable, adverse, or negative inference if the defendant does not take the stand in this matter. The jury's recollection controls. You will hear the lawyers discuss the facts and the law in their opening statements and closing arguments to you. These statements and arguments are not evidence. Their purpose is to help you understand the evidence and the law. If the lawyers have stated the law differently from the law as I explain it to you in these instructions, then you must follow these instructions and ignore the statements of the lawyers. If the lawyers state the evidence differently from how you recall it, then you should follow your own memory of what the evidence was. Direct and circumstantial evidence. There are two kinds of evidence, direct and circumstantial. Direct evidence is direct proof of a fact, such as the testimony or statement of a person about what the person saw, heard, or did. Circumstantial evidence is indirect evidence, that is, proof of a chain of facts from which you could find that another fact exists, although it has not been proved directly. For example, if you look outside and see water droplets falling from the sky, that is direct evidence that it's raining. But if you look out the window at night and the ground is dry, and again the next morning and the ground is wet, that is indirect or circumstantial evidence that it rained during the night. By circumstantial evidence, I simply mean that you may infer the ultimate fact from another fact shown. You should feel free to reach reasonable conclusions from proven facts. Conversely, you may not reach conclusions based on facts that have not been proved. In the rain example, wet ground alone may support an inference that it rained during the night. But in the absence of additional evidence, it will not necessarily support inferences about how much rain fell or for how long a period of time. You should consider both kinds of evidence. You are permitted to give equal weight to both, but it is for you to decide how much weight to give any evidence, whether it be direct or circumstantial. However, to be sufficient to establish guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, circumstantial evidence must exclude all other rational conclusions. This means that if from the circumstantial evidence it is rational to arrive at two conclusions, one consistent with guilt and one consistent with innocence, then you must choose the rational conclusion consistent with innocence. In determining whether all rational conclusions other than guilt have been excluded, you should not consider any item of circumstantial evidence in isolation. Rather, you should consider each item of circumstantial evidence in the context of all of the other evidence. Call that to my attention or to the attention of one of our court officers. After the view is completed, you may not revisit the scenes on your own during trial.
I don't want to hear
Also,
her
you may
talk
not
about
engage in any discussion among yourselves or with anyone else concerned.
The two times that we get out of the bus. So before we do that, I want to kind of start at the beginning. The first place that we're going to go to, and this is Miss Johnson, forget my art skills, high school. We're going to start at the courthouse.
You working from
The
home?
first place that we're going to go to,
Okay,
we're going
thank
to
you,
go down
John
past Elm
Smith.
Street. Definitely not to scale. We're going to come across Merrimack, and we're going to go up here. On
Don't
Market
forget to
Street.
hit the thumbs up for me, please.
That point,
I'm trying to
we're gonna
fix it
pull the
because I
bus
put it in
over
the
to the
wrong
side of the
thing.
road, and you're going to be able
Just
to
give me a
look out,
minute
and I
so
would
y'all
say
know
look
what
out
case
the
y'all looking at.
right-hand side of the bus to the area of 20 Market Street. That's the location of the methadone clinic where the defendant took Harmony that morning with the rest of the family inside a 2010 gray Chrysler Sebring. When you're there, I want you to be able to take into account just the outside of the building and also look at the neighborhood. I want you to see the number of other businesses that are nearby, the number of other cars that are nearby, the number of the amount of foot traffic that may be there while we're there. You're going to hear in opening arguments that it was at that first location outside the methadone clinic that the defendant came out from getting his medication, got into the car, and understood that Harmony had had an accident, saying, "Where's the effect of really Harmony again?" Objection.
Approach.
Can somebody send me a picture of Harmony? Text it to me. Or something, please. What happened? Oh, I don't know what they're doing.
Needed to get a tow. You'll hear how he went to the back seat and found that Harmony was no longer alive. I want you to look very closely around that intersection. Look at the traffic going through that intersection, the number of people that were available at that intersection. We're also going to hear the testimony that at that time, when he realized that she was dead, that when you look at the different businesses around, I want you to remember that when later on you're hearing testimony, how his actions was to take Harmony and to stuff her in a duffel bag. You'll also hear later a trial from a tow truck driver, and you'll hear about a gas station on the corner So while we're in the intersection, and we're not going to stand in the middle of the intersection, obviously we're going to stand on the side. But while you're there and you can move around, take note of how far away that gas station is. And the short distance that the tow truck driver had to bring the car. And once we've spent enough time considering all of these, then we're going to be going to another address.
Yeah.
We're going to hear a testimony about a lot of different addresses where the defendant brought Harmony's body up. We're not going to be going to the first two addresses. That one that involves, you'll hear involves a deck, another one that involves a cooler. We're not going to be here. We're not going to be driving by one on Lake Avenue as well that you'll hear testimony later on about where he stored Harmony in the ceiling. Where we're going to go is 644 Union Street. So from this intersection, we'll come back onto the buses, onto Webster, come over to Union Street, and head south. And the intersection of 644 Union Street is right at the intersection of Union and Orange.
Watch what I tell you. I don't need no help.
The Orange is the cross street.
This shit.
You're going to see two buildings. We're going to be stopping right outside here, 644 Main. Testimony that you will hear later on involves also a parking lot that's general in the back. But here, we're not going to be getting off the buses. You're not going to have to go inside. Like that. We're going to ask you to again look out the right-hand side of the buses and the size of the building. While you're there, we're going to ask you to please take a look at the number of apartments that are there, the number of neighbors that the defendant would have had based upon looking at those apartments. Look at the traffic, look at the lighting, look at the neighborhood. Later on, you're going to hear more testimony about that apartment and what took place in that apartment. Again, we will not be getting out of the buses. You do not have to go in that apartment. When we're done at Union Street, the buses will pull away. We'll come down to Bridge, back onto Elm, back south to Merrimack, and then back to the courthouse. I'm going to ask you to look at one last thing on this drive. As we come back to the intersection of Merrimack Street and Elm, roughly here compared to how I'm pointing right now, down at that intersection, right across the street from each other, there's the Thirsty Moose Tap House, which is right on Merrimack. Right across the street from that is a Chase Bank. Right. When we drive back down Elm, and then we take that left-hand turn to come up Merrimack Street to come back to the courthouse, I'm going to ask you to look out the right-hand bus of the window. We're not going to be slowing down there. It's Elm Street, a little too busy. But I do want you to look outside that Chase Bank. In the winter of 2020, you will hear testimony that that was not a bank, that that was the Portland Pie Company, pizza shop, that that was where the defendant worked. And you're going to also hear testimony that that was where, on one occasion, he ordered his wife to bring a CMC bag containing Harmony's body and stored it inside a freezer, seen by other witnesses. So when you hear those witnesses and they talk about Portland Pie Company, we're going to be driving by that location. Again, it's a bank now. It's not a pizza place anymore. But understand where that location is to better understand the testimony that you're going to hear throughout the rest of this. Let me stress again, what you see on this view is going to be evidence. The locations we're stopping at, the Habit Methadone Clinic, the Burger King on Daniel Webster Highway, coming back to Colonial Village where we'll get out, to the intersection of Elm and Webster where we will also get out, the drive by 644 Union Street, then back to Elm, and the drive by what was Portland Pie Company before we come back to the courthouse. This will be your only opportunity, as you heard from the court, to look at these places in person until the end of this trial. So take your time. If you need more time, please let the court staff know. We will stay longer in the parking lot. We will stay longer at the intersection. We have great deputies and bailiffs who will allow you to be able to explore the space in a safe manner so that you're not going to feel like you've got traffic right on top of you or anything like that. So do please take your time. But when we listen to the testimony from the different witnesses, these are 5 of the key locations that you're going to hear. So it's important that you know what they look like in person before you hear that testimony. Based upon that, again, after you hear this and if you see all of the evidence of this case, we'll ask you to return just. But I would also ask you if you would please to also pay close attention to defense counsel's comments about the view, because again, the more observations that you can make on today's view, the better it will be for you to understand the testimony you see later on. And it's a one-only shot. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is where the trial really begins for you, and you literally step into it. You step onto the bus, you go to places. These places are exhibits of your mind. These places in your mind, you apply to everything else that you hear, see,
I did it already,
and
but
consider
I have to
in
wait
this
until
case.
that thing, I don't know,
The state said that
change.
this was the last journey that Harmony made.
I did
This
it.
is
I
where the
screenshotted
time
it,
starts.
edited,
This
and
is
everything.
not the journey that Harmony made, but this will be the journey that we made.
That quick.
And when we leave
But
here
it's not showing yet.
and we go to Merrimack Street, that's a clinic. And it is a clinic that you'll hear testimony that Adam and Kayla frequented all the time, or quite a bit. And that when you're there, I want you to look. We can't recreate what was happening on particular days or particular weeks, who might have been coming and going at what time. So you actually can only look around and see the exposure. What is the parking there? What can you see? What is exposed? What is hidden? And then apply the evidence that you hear about events that may have occurred there, and consider could this have happened? Put your mind to the testimony.
Yes, that could have happened, miss.
and
We know
apply it.
that.
This is what I saw. This is what I
Sure.
remembered. This is what the witness is saying. It is your evidence, but it's evidence in the case. Then you'll go from the clinic to Burger King. And at Burger King, that's really very, very important to look at that entire layout. Again, we can't recreate the amount of traffic that was on a particular day or a week. We can't recreate any of that stuff. But you look at the parking. I want you specifically to look at how that drive-through works out when you make the order and then you pay the cashier and then you get your food. Take that into consideration. Take the time to think about a route through the drive-through. What is exposed? What is hidden? Who can see what from what angle? Think about the cashier. Think about all of the stuff around the drive-through. And actually, when you're there and stop, think about that from the time somebody pulls into the parking area. And again, you will be applying that to somebody else's testimony. And then you'll be thinking and applying that. Does this work? Does this not work? What's going on here? It is your evidence. From there, you heard that we're going to Colonial Village. And that is a place that you're getting out. So you will take the time. Traffic's going to be different from testimony that you hear about, but you want to look what is exposed, what is hidden from particular places, looking at the building. What can you see? What can't you see? We're going to direct you to particular places and areas and say, take a look and consider from this perspective something that pictures can never quite do. And you got to hold it in your mind and again, apply it to testimony as it comes in. This is an exhibit throughout the trial, not just for this afternoon. From the Colonial, You will go to Elm and Webster, which is a place that you're going to get out. And that is really critical on traffic because, again, it can't be recreated. But there is going to be testimony about traffic, about reaction to traffic. There's a car that's broken down there, and about what people did about the car, about what traffic was like because the car was broken down. And you want to, again, look, what's exposed, what is hidden, and apply your exhibit in your head to the testimony that comes here at trial. Then Fit Shelter is the next place. And you're going to hear about information that happened inside Fit Shelter. So you won't have that sort of same perspective of what's exposed and what's not exposed, because you won't actually see that part. And there's testimony about Fit Shelter that is very disturbing, but you still need to go there so that you put it in place about the type of place that it is. And
Objection? I'm sorry, I think there's an objection. Essentially withdraw.
Messing up my words, Union Avenue. Sorry. You will not be going into Union Avenue, but some very disturbing things occurred at Union Avenue. So you want to hold this into your head. Think about the building. Think about the location. Remember Union Avenue, even though you can't go into it. And I think you'll be very happy that you don't go into it. All of this is an exhibit inside of your head, and keep the names a little bit better than I did. I'm so sorry about that. But the location is the same. And this is the journey that we are taking. And at the end from Union Avenue, you're going to come back here. And as they say, pass by the corner at Merrimack and Elm. Keep that in mind. I also want you to keep in mind the distance from the two. Distance in this case is a little bit less important, but still something to keep in mind as a person testifies about traveling from place to place, about how long does it take, the traffic lights, what is the delay. And I did forget it. Each of those traffic lights, I want you to look around again, just as you're going through the traffic lights, what's exposed, what is hidden. You're going to be on streets. Assume that everything on the street is exposed. Look around on the sidewalks and the areas around it as well. It's a difficult thing. Again, you're not taking notes. And you're going to have to remember this as you apply it to all of the testimony in this case. All of these locations are important, not necessarily for the reasons that the state said. There is a dispute going on here, but there is no dispute that all these locations are very, very important. And we can only ask you to pay attention as best you can. When we get there, we'll just remind you of perspective.
Yeah, I'm wondering if those locations are all the locations that they try to find that little girl's body at, allegedly. You know what I mean? Probably so many locations, so many hiding spots, so many places. It's crazy. Why do people do that? They know they're going to jail for life. Why did you just don't tell tell these cops where the body is? Why do they do things like that? I don't understand. I just don't understand. You're going to jail, dude. You're going to jail. You're in jail already. Why do you want to make the family more go through this? Why?
In specific areas to look at. I believe that we'll be going behind you to make sure that the bus stops long enough for you to absorb all of the areas before you go to the next one, before you go to the next one, until you step out and actually walk around, starting at Colonial Village. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the preview statements. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you back into the jury deliberation room. This is a good time to use the restroom, have a drink of water. I think we've got a little bit of time before the bus arrives. We will let you know when the bus arrives, and you'll be escorted by the court officers. I will be on the bus with you, as well as some of the court staff. The lawyers will be going separately. So just be patient. As soon as the bus is ready for us and all of our business here is concluded, we will go ahead and get on the bus and begin the view. All right. The reminder about not talking about the case with each other or with anyone else, or doing any independent research, make sure you don't do that. Okay. All rise for the jurors, please. Counsel.
Hmm.
That's going to be the procedure for tomorrow morning and each day thereafter of this trial, unless and until the court makes a different order on that. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything further from the state while Mr. Montgomery is present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Montgomery, you're free to go now. I appreciate that that you are speaking with us when we need to speak with you, because we are keeping the jurors waiting when we do this.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You're all set. All right. Counsel, we will wait to hear when the bus is here. As soon as the bus is here, I guess I'll just have you all notified. Yes. Yes, I know. Oh, the bus is not here, right? When we thank you, Peter. When the bus is here, let us know so that we can gather everybody up and make sure everybody is in their respective vehicles at the right time. So we'll have somebody, probably the court officer will check in with you. I'll get on the bus with the court staff and the jurors when we get the go ahead from everybody. Okay. All right. Very good. Let me know if you need me before that. Attorney Gotti, counsel.
They are going over it, boy. I don't even know. I think that's it. Ooh, child.
What he wants to do and what he does not. The state accepts that and doesn't challenge that in any way. And we agree with the court's plan on how to deal with that moving forward. I think one of the two things that the state just wants to bring up is tomorrow morning. I know we're going to have the jurors back here for 8:45. What time might the courtroom be open, and what time would you like to start with opening arguments, just so we can make sure the rest of the technology is going to work and it's in an appropriate location?
Okay, so what I expected, what I told the jurors is be back here at 8:45. If all goes according to plan, that we would begin openings at 9. Okay. If everybody's here and everybody's ready before 9, then we would start before 9. But 9 would be certainly the go time. Okay, absent some extraordinary circumstance, given the number of circumstances we had today, it would be great if somebody from each side can be here a little earlier. Even if it's just one of you.
And all
one of
this
you can
stuff all
communicate
over
with the other
again.
by
Lord have
phone if
mercy,
necessary,
y'all.
so
This
that's
is
fine.
crazy.
Travel. Actually, I have no idea how far you come. So, so just being here a little early. Let me see what time can the courtroom be open?
They open at 7:45.
What about the courtroom?
Oh, whenever you tell them.
When-
Maybe 8:30, Your Honor, if that's available.
Oh, definitely.
And I'll just at least give us 15 minutes before the 8:45 time to make sure things are ready.
That sounds great. And that way, if defense can also be here on that a little bit earlier side, so that we can just confirm that everybody's comfortable with where the technology is, that would be great. You don't have to come that early, but I just want to do it so that we can get an on-time start. And if we need to move things around, we can. It does look like we have a podium, so that's good. You'll have your witnesses lined up and ready to go for a full day.
Yes, we're going to be speaking with our advocate just in a few minutes as soon as we get on this hearing, Your Honor, and we'll be able to provide that list to defense counsel before they leave the courthouse. So we just need a couple of minutes. I know typically we always make sure it's done by 6 p.m. I think we'll be able to be earlier than that. I guess, God bless you. I think just separate from that, Your Honor, one thing that I'm looking through the interoffice memorandum you stated regarding, apologize, let me slow down, Lieutenant Burke's write-up of Sergeant Fullermont's write-up of the interaction today. You stated earlier on that this is something that typically would be filed in court regarding the refusal for a transport.
Well, I don't know. I know that when we have that from the House of Correction, I don't know if it gets transmitted by the House of Correction to the court, and the court puts it in the file, or that must be the way it happens. So we can put this in the file as we do, but the House of Correction is not a memo. It's just a defendant refused. Sometimes it has some explanation on it, but it's not quite like that. So that's why I would like you to confer with each other. I don't see any reason why it can't be uploaded.
I think the state's position is going to be that it should be uploaded memo. Certainly the facts that were in there were taken into account when considering the defendant's colloquies today. Certainly the defense counsel should have an opportunity to talk about it amongst themselves, but it is the state's position that this should be.
Say anything about that, or you want to take some time to read it more carefully? You just got it, so.
Right, I think that there's new information on there that sort of falls into some of the concerns that I addressed earlier this morning, so yes, I'd like some more time with it.
Okay. So, all right, anything else you wanted to raise? No? All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. If something else, I'll issue this order today. If anything comes up, please let the court know, and we'll make sure that we get a chance to communicate about it. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm about to do my live at 8 o'clock. What y'all think about that? I'm trying to fix what I'm very agitated because I messed something up, y'all, and I'm really trying to fix it on my cell phone. But this live is over, so I'm gonna just fix it real quick, and I will see y'all back at 8 o'clock. I do want to talk a little bit about what happened here, and then we can go right into the next case. But I need time to just a few minutes to fix it. I fixed it on my phone. Hopefully, it will stay there and go right into my thing. So I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. But just give me a few minutes, all right? I love y'all.